Okay, so today we're going to move on to adding and subtracting mixed numbers. Adding and subtracting mixed numbers. Okay, so now remember from yesterday's lesson that a mixed number is a number that has a whole number part and a fractional part. So for example, let's say I want to add 1 4/5 plus 2 1/10. Okay, I've got 1 4/5 plus 2 1/10. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to circle your symbol, circle your operation, okay? And I tell you to do that so that you don't forget, are you adding or are you subtracting? Okay? So we're going to circle our sign. And in this case, we're adding. Okay? Okay, step 2. We're going to either add or subtract, depends on what our sign is, the whole number first. So that means I'm going to add 2 plus 1 first. 2 plus 1, 3. Okay? So now, after I have taken care of the whole number part of the mixed number, now it is time to add or subtract the fractions. And remember, you need to make sure you have common denominators. Okay, make sure you have common denominators. So, I'm going to look up here. I have 5 and I've got 10, not common denominators, but the lowest common multiple between 10 and 5 is 10, right? So, how did I get from 5 to 10? Well, it's times 2. So 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, and times 1 times 1. Now I can add my fraction piece, right? 8 plus 1 is 9 tenths. So 1 4/5 plus 2 1/10 is 3 9/10. Okay. Okay. Time for a random question here. This is science. If one bulb burns out and the rest remain lit, which type of circuit is this? There you go. Okay, moving back to math. Now remember, if your answer is improper, so if that fraction, your answer is improper, change it to a mixed number, then add to the whole numbers. And always, always, always simplify if possible. By dividing numerator and denominator by the GCF. Remember, that's where we make our T-charts. So let's take a look at a problem where our answer is going to be improper, okay? So let's say I have 8 1/2 plus 6 3/5. Okay? Now I told you the first thing to do is to circle your sign. Okay? Circle your sign. Second thing is add or subtract the whole number first. Well, in this case, we're adding. 8 plus 6 is 14. Okay? Okay, now I have to do the fraction, right? Add or subtract the fractions, making sure I have common denominators. Okay, well again, 2 and 5. Not common denominators, but the lowest common multiple between 2 and 5 is 10. Okay? 2 times 5 is 10. 1 times 5 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, so there's my equivalent fractions there with the common denominator. So now I can add. 5 plus 6 is 11 tenths. I have an improper fraction there, don't I? Okay, so I change it into a mixed number by dividing the numerator by the denominator. So I'm going to take 11 divided by 10. Okay? So how many groups of 10 fit into 11? 1. 1 times 10 is 10. Now I'm going to subtract. 11 minus 10 is 1. Okay, so now I'm down here. It says if your answer is improper, change it to a mixed number. So my mixed number is 1 1/10. And I'm going to add it to my whole number over here. So 14 plus 1 is 15. And then I still have this 1/10 right here. 1/10. 15 and 1/10. We'll have lots of practice on this, okay? Okay, let's do a subtraction one. 2 and 4/5 minus 1 1/2 circle my sign, add or subtract the whole number first, it's subtraction. 2 minus 1 is 1. Add or subtract the fractions, make sure I have common denominators. Well, again, I do not have common denominators, but as I've done on the other one, I'm going to make equivalent fractions. And I already know, because I've done it so many times, that the lowest common multiple between 5 and 2 is 10. 5 times 2 is 10. 4 times 2 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. 1 times 5 is 5. Now can I subtract? I can't, because now I have common denominators. So 8 minus 5 is 3/10. So my answer is 1 3/10. Okay? Now I'm going to give you one subtraction problem to try and one addition problem to try. Okay? So let's do one and 5/12 plus 4 and 1/6. And then let's do 3 and 2/3 minus 1 and 1/6. Okay? So try those two, and I will see you in the morning.